Hey everyone, so in today's video, we are going to be talking about Florida LLCs and everything you need to know about them. I'll also show you exactly how to set up your LLC in Florida in the cheapest and fastest way. So there are 6 steps when it comes to forming an LLC in Florida, and I'm going to go over them briefly right now and in more detail later on. First, you're going to want to pick a name for your LLC. 2, you're going to hire a registered agent, which is required in Florida. 3, you're going to file your Florida LLC Articles of Organization. 4, you're going to create an LLC operating agreement. 5, you're going to obtain a Florida EIN for your LLC. This is basically just going to be like a social security number for your business. And then 6, you're going to get an annual resale certificate for sales tax if you are selling things. If you do want to bicep a lot of these steps, you can actually use something like IncFile. This is exactly how I set up multiple of my own businesses. So yeah, we'll go through these steps in detail right now, but if you want to use a platform to just do this all for you, just skip to the end of this video. I'll do a screen share of how you can set up a Florida LLC in like 5 minutes. So Florida does have some state naming guidelines for LLCs. And the first is that your name must include limited liability company, LLC, or L.L.C. The name should not cause any confusion with a government agency, so you can't use words like FBI, Treasury, or State Department. And then you also want to make sure that your name is available in Florida, so you'll want to conduct a state name search. And then also something you should consider is that URL, domain name, available? So yeah, what I would do is I would check online on something like namecheap.com to see if that name is available. Number 2 is you're going to hire a registered agent, which is required in Florida. A registered agent is a person or a business that is responsible for sending and receiving important legal documents on your behalf, such as tax forms, lawsuits, government correspondence, and more. And a rule is that this person or business must be a full-time resident in Florida, and it can be yourself, it could be an employee, or it can be a registered agent service. I will say that whatever name and address you guys are using, that is going to be public information. So if you want to be as private as possible, you should use a registered agent service. Think of your registered agent sort of as like your mailing address. 3 is you're going to file your Florida LLC Articles of Organization. This is going to be Form LLC-1, and you're going to file this with the Florida Division of Corporations. You guys can either do this online or you can do it through mail. And then you also want to decide if your LLC is going to be member managed or manager managed. And for 99% of you guys, it's going to be member managed because it's going to be managed by you, who is a member. Next is you're going to create an LLC operating agreement. Now, this is not required in Florida, but I do recommend having one. An operating agreement is a legal document that outlines the ownership and operating procedures of your LLC. It basically is going to be to ensure that both owners and employees know what to expect from the company and vice versa. This agreement is going to include information about your organization, so who the members are, when and where your business was created, as well as the ownership structure. It's also going to have your management and voting structure. It'll have capital contributions, so which members are actually putting money into this business. It'll have info about distributions, about membership changes, as well as dissolution, which is when the LLC may be dissolved. Next is you're going to obtain an EIN number in Florida for your LLC. So this is also known as your federal tax identification number. And you can think of it sort of as like a social security number for your business. You yourself have a social security number. Well, your Florida LLC is also going to have one as well, and that is called the EIN. It basically allows the IRS to identify and keep track of a business's tax status. This is required by the state to open up a business bank account and also to hire employees. And in Florida, you can actually file for your EIN for free, and this is done after you form your company. To get your EIN, you can do this online or you can do it by mail. And then 6 is you may need to obtain additional licensing in Florida. The most common business license in Florida is going to be the Florida Annual Resale Certificate or Seller's Permit. This is required if you engage in business in Florida and intend on actually selling taxable goods or services. You guys can do this yourself, or of course you can use a service like IncFile to do this for you. And then after you form your Florida LLC, you're going to want to open up a business bank account because this is going to actually separate your personal assets from your business assets. You may also want to get a business credit card if you do want to receive or get rewards for spending money in your business. And of course, hire an accountant. So this is going to help you save money on taxes. They're going to be able to make sure everything is done correctly. You'll avoid any penalties or fines if you do something that's incorrect. And yeah, a smart business move for almost every business owner. So I know it does seem pretty complicated to set up an LLC, and it is, right? But there are actually services out there that can do this for you, and they can do it for you for little to no money. So personally, I've used IncFile to create multiple of my own businesses, and every single time I've used them, they have been amazing, 100% worth the money. They'll literally save you hours and hours of your own time, and you can take that time and use it to actually, build your own business. So in a little bit, I'll show you guys how to set up your LLC in Florida using IncFile. And the plan I recommend, which we'll go over more, is the Gold plan. And with the Gold plan, they're just literally going to do everything for you, and you guys are going to see it is well worth the money. Now let's also talk about some Florida tax filing requirements, right? So there's the Florida reemployment tax, and this is required if you plan on having employees. It's sort of like a type of unemployment tax, and you can apply for this through the Florida Department of Revenue. New employers also need to pay a 2.7% tax on the first $7,000 paid to employees. And then if you guys are in any specific industries, you also might require additional state taxes. In terms of federal licensing, this is only required if your business is regulated by the federal government. So most of you guys probably aren't going to need to get a federal license. It's only going to apply for businesses that relate to alcohol, agriculture, fishing and wildlife, firearms and ammunition, TV broadcasting, nuclear energy, and more. And in terms of federal tax filing requirements, you must report your income to the IRS every single year. For multi-member LLCs, you'll likely use the Form 1065 partnership return. And then for most single member LLCs, which is going to be most people watching this video, you'll use Form 1040 Schedule C. There's also an annual report that you must file for your Florida LLC. And this is filed with the Florida Department of State. This can be done online. It's pretty simple. And the fee is $138.75 as of today. This annual report is due on May 1st. And I'll say that the first annual report is actually due the next calendar year after the LLC was formed, anytime between January 1st and May 1st. There's also a $400 late fee if you miss this deadline, so definitely set a reminder. If you fail to report by the third week of September, this is actually going to result in your LLC being dissolved. So now I'm going to take you guys through the cheapest and fastest way to set up your Florida LLC. All right, so what I recommend doing is going to the description down below and finding the link to IncFile. It's going to take you to the exact page you need, which is going to be this. You guys can follow along or you guys can watch through and do this on your own. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click Start My Business right here. It's going to take me to this page where I can select the business type. So since we are making an LLC, I'll click on this and we'll select the state of formation. And since we're doing Florida, we'll come down here and select Florida right here. So now you can see that there are 3 different packages that you guys can get: the silver, the gold, and the platinum. Now the silver one is basically completely free. You're paying IncFile $0. You're just paying the mandatory state fee of $125, which you'd have to pay anyways. And in this package, they're going to prepare and file the articles of organization. They're going to help you do name searches, and they're going to give you free registered agent service for 1 year. So this is okay, but for 99% of you guys watching this, I'd say that you'll probably want to go with the gold plan. This is the plan that I used, and I definitely recommend doing this because they're going to do a bunch of things that will save you hours and hours of your time. This one's $149 plus that state fee of $125. And this one's way more comprehensive because they're actually going to file for your EIN number for you. They'll help you do the IRS Form 2553 if you want to actually classify as an S Corp for tax purposes. They'll help you with your operating agreement, your banking resolution, and a bunch of other stuff. So this is going to be by far the best one for most of you guys. And if you really want to ball out, you guys can go with the platinum plan. This one's a little bit more expensive, but it does come with business contract templates, expedited filing, and domain name plus business email. So like I said, for most of you guys, I'll recommend the gold plan. So I'm just going to click that right here. Now it's going to have me enter in the information for the contact person. After I do that, it's going to have me enter in my mailing address. After that, I'll click next right here. Next, it'll have me select my state filing time. So if you don't want to spend any extra money, it should take maybe about 8 weeks to file. But if you do want to get this done as fast as possible, you guys can select this one for $50 extra and it'll do it quite a bit faster. But for this video, I'm just going to select this. I'll click next right here. Here, I'm going to enter in my LLC name. So for me, I'm just going to enter in Charlie Chang Ventures. It'll have me select my designator. So you can choose this, or this. In this case, I'm just going to select LLC since that is the most popular. It'll have me select my number of members / owners. And since it is just me, I'll select 1. Then it's going to have me enter in my business purpose. After that, it's going to ask what my business industry is. So I'll select something here. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just should sort of match up with what your business does. Then I'll scroll down here and it's going to ask me for my company address information. So you guys can use their address or you can use your own address if you want. I'll select my own address. I'll click this checkbox. I'll confirm yes is the answer right here, and then I'll click next. After that, it's going to ask you if you want to actually upgrade to the premium service package. You guys can do this if you want, but for this video, I'll just click no thanks. Then we'll enter in the information for member number 1. So I'll click my name and my address to populate these forms. I'll select my percentage of ownership, and since it is just me, I'll select 100%. Then I'll click next right here. Then it's going to ask me for my registered agent information. And like I mentioned earlier, IncFile is great because they actually provide you a registered agent free for 1 year. So you guys can just leave that checked there. But if you do want to act as your own registered agent, you guys can select this box right here. So then I'll click next. Next, it'll have me enter in my own social security number. So I'll enter that right here. And it'll have me select my physical street address. So I'll just check this box right here and click next. After that, it's going to ask me if I want to set up a small business banking account. You guys can do this if you want, but just for this video, I'll select no, not at this time. Then it'll ask me if I want a free tax strategy or consultation. You guys can do this if you want to, but just for now, I'm going to say not interested. Click next. It'll ask me about any business licenses that I may need. Just for right now, I'll say no thanks. I'll do the work myself. But if you do want them to actually help you with this, you guys can click this. And finally, it's going to have me review my order for my new Florida LLC. So I'll scroll down here, check to make sure all these things are correct. If it is, I'll click next. And then finally, it's going to have me enter in my billing information. So your cardholder name, your address, as well as your card number and credit card details. After that, I'll check this box and then I'll click complete and pay. So yeah, that's basically how you set up an LLC in Florida using my favorite platform, IncFile. Again, the link to IncFile is going to be down below in the description, and it will take you to the exact page you need to get to. So yeah, super fast. You guys can see that I did this in just a few minutes. So by far the easiest, fastest, and cheapest way to create your LLC. Anyways, I hope you guys found this video helpful. Feel free to reference it at any time. And yeah, if you enjoyed it, make sure to like and also subscribe for more content just like this. This whole channel is dedicated at giving you guys free guides and tutorials about starting your business. I appreciate your time, and I'll see you in the next video.